Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tip Tuesday. Today we are talking all about claircognizance. And claircognizance, if you don't know, it is one of the intuitive main senses that we have. And claircognizance is clear knowing. And this is my main clair. It's sort of the clair that you get when you just sort of know stuff, right? It's a interesting, Claire, in that it's sometimes really difficult to figure out and trust, right? Because a lot of times we'll just sort of think something and go, well, why do I know that? That's weird, and then dismiss it. When in actuality, what we should be doing is leaning into it, right? And really paying attention to those messages and trusting the information that we get. So claircognizance receive information kind of as those big aha moments where information just pops in your mind. This information is delivered into the conscious mind without any real rational thought or logic. Indicators that claircognizance may be your main dominant gift. Again, sometimes you just know things and they turn out to be true or accurate. As well, your friends and family may rely on you when they have a difficult question or they were asking for some insight around some issue that they're having. This happened to me a lot. Like, people would come to me and just ask me, like, my advice on things, and I was like, and I would give them, and it was good advice, but it wasn't really advice that was coming from me. It was like coming from the divine. But I didn't really realize that until like about 5 years ago, when I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. You also can tell, people who have claircognizance can kind of tell when someone is lying. They're like human lie detectors. So like I said, information kind of just pops into your head. You'll receive random ideas or solutions to your problems or the problems of others. And I'm going to highly suggest that you write this stuff down, right? Those aha moments. And this is because a lot of times claircognizance comes in, you get the info, and it's gone. And if you don't write it down, you'll be like, God, what was that really amazing idea that I just had? So I highly recommend that you write these down when you do get those hits. And a lot of times, again, if you're just starting, they'll show up in times when you're kind of tuned into your subconscious. And your subconscious kind of steps in when you're doing repetitive actions, things that your body knows how to do, such as driving a car. When you are driving to work and you know exactly where you're going, you've taken the same route for 10 years, right? You'll get aha moments. You'll get to where you're going and not even recognize it. Like, how did I get here? I don't remember, right? It's that kind of aha moment you'll get, is when your brain, the conscious part of your brain, is shut off and you're kind of back in your subconscious. Because again, your subconscious steps in when it knows exactly how to do something. When you know, like showering, washing the dishes. So pay attention when you get those aha moments during those times of when you're doing those sort of mundane kind of tasks. Claircognizance, you may also have a tendency to interrupt others. And I do know that I am I am guilty of this one a little bit. We tend to respond before the person's even done asking the question. And that's because we kind of already know what they're going to say. And this is kind of annoying to a lot of people. So I do my best to hold my tongue. But it's sort of like you know what they're trying to say, and so you'll kind of answer them before they've finished asking their question. As well, you may be, claircognizant may be your main dominant clair as well. If you know the outcome of a situation before it happens, kind of like when you know I should take a different route to work for some reason. You're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to go this way instead of this way because for some reason, right? You may not even understand why you're doing it. And then when you get to work, you find out there was like a 10-car pileup on the freeway and you would have been delayed like 30 minutes. Stuck in traffic. So it's that kind of aha moments that you get and receive, and then when you're paying attention, you take action on them, and it can really help you move your life forward. And this particular clair, they often learn best by reading. And so if you love to read, and this is a really great way for you to kind of tune in and really figure out that claircognizance may be your main clair. So here's my tips. How do you strengthen this clair? The first thing is trust the information that you receive. Know that there's more to your mind than just logical thought. So if you know the answer to something and you're like, I don't know why I know this, own it. You know it. Your intuition is telling you to own the fact that you do have this information and deep-seated knowledge that lives within you. I went to play trivia with a friend of mine. This was a couple of years ago, and we went to trivia, and a lot of the trivia questions kind of were like multiple choice answers, right? And the ones that I didn't know the answer to, I got right by guessing the right answer, and it was just like my intuition was like, it's C. So we write down C, and we ended up winning. Like me and my friend, we ended up winning that night. We got T-shirt and beer and all those fun things. But it was funny because I was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm great at trivia is because one, I have a wealth of useless knowledge locked away in my brain, but also when it comes to guessing, I'm a pretty good guesser as well. So also trust your gut when making decisions. Pay attention to the information that you see, feel, hear, and know. Your gut is extremely powerful, and us claircognizants, like our gut leads the way, right? It is definitely a feeling that we will receive, and we're like, I have to do this, and you don't necessarily know why you have to do it, but I highly recommend you utilize it and you trust it implicitly. The gut is known as the second brain, and so you have so much information in that sort of gut instinct. There's a reason why it's called a gut instinct, because it's scientifically called the second brain of the body. I highly recommend you utilize automatic writing. This helps to get out of that logical, ego, conscious mind versus your higher self, as well as your subconscious, and that intuition flows in when you're in that kind of state of brain waves. So like I said, I love automatic writing. Automatic reading is really easy to do. It's stream of consciousness writing. I highly recommend it. There's a Tip Tuesday in here. You can find it under the guides if you want to know more about how to do automatic writing. But it is a really easy way to tap into your intuition and get a lot of useful information. And for me, I love the practice because it's written down. I can refer back to it when I'm like, what did I say? What did my highest self tell me today? And so I love that it's written down as well. You can also do it on a computer. I don't use a computer to do it, but you can use it whatever sort of works best for you. Also, you can test your abilities guessing sort of what song might come on the radio if you shuffle your playlist, as well as maybe what car color is going to come around the street. So you can kind of just go, okay, let's see, like, what do I know? What do I already know? You can also put a question under your pillow at night and ask your divine guidance team to help you answer the question, solve the problem. And then every morning record the messages that you received overnight, and then make sure that you write them down. And after a few days, you may have answered your question, or you may even after one night have answered your question. So that's a really easy way too, because again, when we are sleeping, our subconscious takes over, right? That's why we breathe while we're sleeping. It's not a conscious thing that we actually have to do. And so our subconscious takes over when we're sleeping, and it allows us to receive a lot of great intuitive messages if you are open to it. That being said, you are not going to want to keep your intuition open every single night, because your spirit guides can keep you up all night or wake you up at inconvenient times in the middle of the night. So I highly recommend you don't do this all the time. But if you definitely have something that you're working on, or you're struggling with trying to find a solution for, try that practice. You can try using flashcards. So write questions on the front of a flashcard and with the answers on the back, such as what color is on the back of this card? And then that same question can be asked a bunch of different times with different colors written on the back, and use that knowing to figure out what that color is. So you shuffle that card, you use your intuition, and you know the answer, right? Don't second guess that first instinct that comes through. And the more you practice, the better your accuracy will become. Again, meditation. Meditation is also a great way to grow any intuitive sense. And for this one, I highly recommend when you're meditating to really open up your crown chakra. And a lot of my meditations, I open up the crown and the third eye, because claircognizance, a lot of the information comes through that crown chakra, while the rest of the senses usually come through our third eye. So meditate opening up that big, beautiful crown chakra. And then allow yourself to receive the information that you need. You can also meditate to tune into your claircognizant spirit guide. These are guides that can really help you develop that sense. And you can use this for any of the other senses as well. So if you want to grow your clairvoyancy, you can go and visualize and meditate to your your intuitive spiritual guide and say, you know what, I would really love your assistance in helping me to grow this. So if you can show me or allow me to know information so that I can grow this intuitive gift, you can work with them in that regard as well. The other thing is setting an intention of wanting to receive more intuitive guidance, right? Setting affirmations and focusing on this daily to strengthen your abilities as well. Setting intentions, right? When it comes to our intuition and into working with our divine guidance team, intention is everything. If you want help, all you have to do is say, I would really love your assistance with this. Right? You have to set the intention though. They can't help you if you don't ask. So setting an intention of, I would really like to grow this particular sense. Can you help me? Please show me the way. Right? As well as you can try using it for everyday things, right? You can ask yourself questions about mundane things that might come up. You can use this sense all the time. Like I said, multiple choice questions that maybe you don't know the answer to, tuning in to like taking quizzes that are maybe online and that you're like, I don't know, but let's test this out, right? And guess, and then look at the answers and see how many you get right. But this is a really great way to grow your intuition. And then again, when you get those aha moments, write them down and take action on them. All of our intuitive hits that we receive, chances are you're supposed to do something with them. And if you just go, oh, that was great, thanks. Okay, that's not really going to help you, right? If you don't do anything with it. So make sure that when you do receive a sign, whenever you receive an aha moment, you say, thank you, right? Because the more gratitude you show for them, the more they're going to show up and help you along the way as well. So what is your main intuitive clair? Is claircognizance? Have you struggled with this throughout your life to really build up that trust? And so next week, there's going to be a flashback. We're going to do a flashback tip Tuesday next week. And that's going to be energy protection. And that's important because, again, those clairsentients need to make sure that they are practicing good psychic and energetic hygiene. And then I will be back with a live for the end of our intuition series the following Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about clairaudience. And so I hope you will all join me then. But I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday and the rest of your week. And next week I'm going on vacation, so that's why I won't be here live with you guys. But I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week.